This is All Access MMA.
My next guest is finally back in action, going to be taking on Mana Martinez, UFC 271, February 12th. We just turned up the heat in here. It's the heat. Ronnie Lawrence joining us here on the program. Ronnie, how's it going?
Good. Hey, thanks for having me.
Hey, of course. Pleasure's all mine. You're in the car. Are you going to training, coming back from training? Where am I getting you today?
Honestly, I got a newborn and I got a toddler in the house.
And it's just quieter. I have two kids as well, so I can relate. How old is your newborn?
My newborn is a month old.
Oh wow. Nice.
Yeah, so you know, it's already been an interesting fight camp to say.
No, I bet. I have a 4-month-old. He just turned 4 months last week, so I can relate. It's it's tough when they're trying to sleep and all that and everything. So I can relate with that. But let's talk about this fight, man. I don't want people thinking this is like TLC or anything. When did you find out about this fight? It seemed like you got a full camp for this one.
Yeah, I got a full camp. I think I found out around 10 weeks out.
Nice. Okay.
It's like 12, which is a good and bad thing because you're like, you want to get ready, but you can't like start hitting the ground running too hard or you're going to end up breaking your body down. So but I would rather find out sooner than later. So.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, of course, you're supposed to fight John Castaneda last year, then Trevin Jones, and then I know you had the weight cut. There was an issue with the weight cut. What exactly happened? I mean, I don't think we've heard from you that much since that whole thing went down. We got to get the Ronnie Lawrence side of the story. What went down there, and why haven't we seen you in a while?
I would like to get it out there because I'm not a per se big bantamweight. Like, you know what I mean? I'm not like a huge guy. I think it's kind of obvious when you look at me. I was going in a fight camp, the same I always do. I walked in a fight week the same I always do. The weight was coming off like, really, really easy. Everything was fine. But two things happened, and those are basically the two reasons that it happened. I had like an ingrown hair that got infected like right before I flew out, and my lymph node got like real swollen. So like all week I was like trying to keep it from getting worse, but I think it turned into like the beginning stages of staph. And then I also had a teammate that soon as we arrived, he tested positive for COVID. And then but I did like the rapid test and I was fine. But to fast forward, as soon as I got home from Vegas, I ended up catching COVID myself.
Wow. Okay.
So it was either staph infection or COVID. The staph infection, I figured out it was a staph infection because like the spot that I had the problem, like all the hair fell out and it turned into a bald spot, which is what happened the last 2 times I've got staph. I've had like patches in my beard. So it was one of the two. But either way, like when I got to like 137 pounds, like my hands went numb and I started feeling like just bad. You get that bad feeling. You're like, something's not right here. But obviously you got to make it to the scale. So I got back in the bathtub and I was pouring sweat. I got out of the bathtub and I realized I couldn't walk and I cramped from head to toe. And my coach Roger Crawl was like, "It's the worst cramps I've seen," and he's been doing this for like 20 years. I mean, I was at one point I started screaming, like it was terrible. I couldn't get up. They had to, throw me in the ambulance, take me to the hospital, and put 4 bags of IVs in me. At that point I was on weight. I was 135 pounds easy. I was pouring sweat as I was laying there, screaming and not knowing, what was happening. It was
Gotcha.
Scariest moments of my life.
No, it sounds like it, man. And glad, I mean, kind of silver lining here. It's probably better you didn't fight considering everything you had to go through that you found out with after, including the COVID and everything else. So, I mean, is that kind of what you have to take out of it? It's just, hey, bad luck. I mean, it happens, right?
That's all you can take out of it is bad luck. And I was trying to fly home and then fight again in like a couple weeks or a month. I was hoping maybe we could reschedule Trevin Jones. And then in the next following weeks, I was going to try to keep my weight down. And then within like a week of being home, like my whole family got sick. And like I just realized, oh, like I got COVID. Like, this. And then I was like, well, now I don't know when I'm going to be able to fight. And then I wouldn't say I had like a terrible case, but it took me like almost 2 months to like entirely bounce back to get like to be able to get through a week of training and like not feel like extra tired or fatigued or whatever you want to call it, like to just feel back to almost 100%.
You know, anytime there's a weight issue, fans automatically go to the whole thing. This guy's lazy. He's not making, you know, whatever. Like his fans are just so weird about weight cutting. I just like, I see it all the time. It happens with, and sometimes it's deserved that you can see people that are not, you know, obviously, you know, putting in the time. But I mean, I've interviewed you for a while. You've never missed weight. Like you're not a guy to do this. And I'm glad you brought that up off the top that, hey, you're not like, it's not like you're some like 55 or trying to drop down to 35. How did you deal with that? Because I'm sure you got a bit of feedback on social media by, you know, moronic fans who were saying, oh, you're lazy, whatever. Like, how did you deal with that?
I had a few trolls and then a few people, a couple people that looked like they had a real account. If I was in the mood, I would just hit them up and go, hey, like, you know, for whatever reason, I wanted to tell them, like, it's not going to happen again. And, like, that's not the case. But whether you win, lose, do great, or do terrible.
Yeah, there's going to be people who don't like it no matter what. You can't please everyone,
people
right?
aren't going to like you, or maybe they're bored. It's really strange these days what goes through people's heads. Like they start a fake account with no picture and they just comment on your stuff saying foul stuff.
It's therapy. It's therapy for them because they got their own issues, so they're taking it out on you, man. You know, there's a lot of people, this is my theory, not to go off on a rant here, but like, I think there's a lot of people that wish they could fight and do what you guys do, and they can't, so it's like their way of like getting back at you, like, because they're jealous, you know?
Yeah, it's a weird thing. I've never been able to wrap my head around it. I just gotta let it be. It is what it is, type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
no.
it kind of sucked. But everyone around me that knows me, they knew what happened. Everybody at the gym, I explained it. I mean, it's obvious if you're around me, I work hard. I eat clean most of the time, so it was just, yeah, like you said, it was just bad luck. And
Yeah.
I really wish it didn't happen. It kept me out of the cage for a year because then I tried to get back in the cage and wasn't able to get a fight scheduled, and then had to do schedule a fight around the time my newborn was born. So
Yeah, that's interesting. Well, main thing is glad to see you're healthy. Glad to see you're back having a fight. I did want to mention, John is actually fighting, fairly. I don't know if it's your card or close to your fight. Was there any talks of rebooking that fight? Because he also hasn't fought since last year.
it honestly, it didn't get brought up at all.
Maybe they just moved on. Yeah, I don't know.
The Trevin Jones fight, which I got a lot of people to pick from in the division. So I mean, I'm just worried about getting a name, fighting him, and moving up in the ranks. But yeah, that didn't come up at all. It actually didn't even go through my head until you just asked me just now.
Okay, well, there you go. That's why I'm here. I give you little tidbits, not just doing a regular interview, right? So there we go. Let's talk about Mana Martinez, 9-2 record. What do you know about him? How do you feel like you match up against him here?
He looks solid. His last fight, it's hard to really take a lot from it because he took him on short notice. He was going through some things with his coach, and I mean, I don't really want to say anything bad about his opponent, but he's on quite a losing streak, and I think it was like kind of an easier first fight in the UFC, but he also has like a strange style. He backs himself up against the cage and kind of like explodes into kicks. Just weird. So maybe with the moment and the short camp, maybe he just didn't look his best. So I'm trying to put in my head that he's going to be twice the fighter stepping here the second time, but it looks like he's got some decent power for the first round, which a lot of people do. I would say I'm not really the easiest person to hit in the first round or in general. He doesn't seem like he's got the strongest wrestling. Seems like he's got some decent jiu-jitsu. He looks like he likes to, recover guard, push off the hips, omoplata, armbar type of style. So I've been trying to obviously work my grappling game towards that. So I think I match up well. Okay. I think regardless of who I fight, like I'm not like somebody like that. I'm not like a style that you're gonna see like every day. I'm like, I'm just kind of a difficult style to prepare for, I would say.
Yeah, you got your own. You could maybe like patent it, like the heat map or something. Like I don't know, something that you got like a different style than other people, right? It's unique.
Yeah, and I've had phases in my career where I punch more, where I wrestle more, where I kick more, and now I just do what you see in the cage, obviously.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. We talked about your team a bit there. Who are you mainly working with this camp as far as training partners?
This camp mostly, I worked mostly the entire camp with Troy Worthen,
Oh, I know
which
Troy. Yep.
yeah, he just flew out. He just got back from I think he might have fought in Singapore, but it was a ONE FC fight. And then obviously I get a lot of rounds in with like Darian Caldwell. I get a lot of rounds in with my boy. His name's is Tony. He goes by Fat Tony in the gym. He's a 25er on the come up. I get a lot of rounds with Garrett Armfield. I fought him a while back for LFA. He's on his way up as well.
Interviewed him about a month ago, actually, Garrett.
Yeah,
Good guy, yeah.
The beast on his way. I work a lot with Dustin Scrappy 135.
Yep.
Teal, can't pronounce his last name, from Burma. He's ONE FC as well. But most of my camp was like a lot of it was with Troy, and then I work a lot with my boy Bobby Castle. He's making his pro debut. He 55er.
Cool.
He's got some really good grappling.
So the cut, I imagine, going better than last time, right? How's everything going? I know we still have a few weeks as well, but everything on point?
Well, just in case, my strength and conditioning coach hired a nutritionist. Her name's Shelly.
Oh, cool. Okay.
He hired her. So just in case, you know, we got a nutritionist on board that tracks my weight, tracks exactly how much I'm, which I kind of did before, but like it's a little more specific, and it's her like job. It's not like, you know, came from a bodybuilding background or anything like that. Like her job is like to make sure
weight management. Yeah. And plus it's just one less thing you have to worry about during camp, because they basically say, eat this. You're like, okay. And then you don't have to worry about it. Right.
Like a lot more like fermented foods. I'm eating a lot of like kimchi, she's added a little stuff. She makes sure that my electrolytes are good. I'm cramping less, just a lot of little stuff. I'm lighter. I feel good. I look like I'm in shape. I'm walking around, I would say like 7-8 pounds lighter than last time, which is
awesome.
Than I would say I'm used to, but I feel strong and I feel good. So we're just going to give this a try and see how it goes.
Now, from one dad to another, how's your sleep going these days? Because everyone's different when it comes to parenting. Like my wife personally, with our newborn, she handles the night shift. I just get up extra early and I stay a little bit later and stuff. But how's your sleep going in camp with the newborn?
Well, my wife's family flew in from Guyana in South America, so they came in to help. They've been helping. I would say a little more with the toddler, and then they obviously help with the newborn. But like at nighttime, I stay up as late as I can, and you know, I take the shifts on feeding. Like last night, I went to bed at like 1 a.m. So I try to stay up late as I can. I fed her later down at 1:30, and my wife said she didn't wake up till 5. So we're doing pretty good on that. I would say it could be worse. I'm getting in 6 to 8 hours.
Oh, well, that's good. Yeah. Because I know some dads are getting like 4 hours or something, right? I'm an 8-hour guy, and I don't even fight or anything, right? Like I just do these interviews, but still, for me, sleep is a huge priority. So I can only imagine for someone who's working hard like you are.
Tough, but staying asleep is not so bad. So like getting to sleep's the hard part for me. I want like at nighttime, it's like I get like a surge of energy. And with our first daughter, I'm girl dad. With our first daughter, I did the night shift because at the time it was during the pandemic. So I just slept. I just stayed up all night with her, and then I would lay down like when the sun came up, and then it would be her turn. So after this fight, I'll probably help out a little more until until they hit the stage where they start sleeping through the night.
How's this fight playing out on February 12th?
I would say similar to the last one. I'm gonna disrupt his timing with my movement, with my feints. If I see it, I'm obviously going to slip in a takedown at any point. I really don't care if I absolutely get the takedown. I just want to make you work. I want to cause you fatigue. I want to make you uncomfortable. I don't want you to know exactly what's coming next. Obviously, I like this camp. I've like tried to focus more on improving my jab. Just working on sparring, fighting in the pocket a little more. I don't know if I'm necessarily going to do that because I just don't like fighting in the pocket with small gloves, definitely in the first round. But I see it going similar to the last one. I'm just gonna be in his face, but not really. Like back and forth, slipping some takedowns. I work the calf, the thigh, the ribs, the head. I mean, I'm gonna try to force the clinch here and there, and then try to wear him down and see where he's uncomfortable. Most of the time, it's usually on the ground where most people start giving up. Not giving up, but you get what I'm saying. Like they kind of just can't keep up, or their body starts wearing down on them. 15 minutes for me isn't a long time to fight, so you might as well come out hot and make it a like a fast paced fight. Make them work. We had 8 weeks, so we got to get to work.
Turn up the heat, you could say, right? As goes with your nickname. Before we get out of here, just quick question. 2022 goals. Is the plan to fight a couple times this year just because of the layoff? Or I know because you're a new dad, I'm sure you want to get some family time as well. What's the rest of the year looking like after this fight?
I would like a very short layoff after this one, like just because I got a newborn. But other than that, fighting 3 times this year would be wonderful. Last year, that was the goal, and that we were on track to get our second fight in by July and, fight before Christmas. But, like you said, or however you want to look at it, bad luck. There could be all types of reasons. I just try to take what I can from it. So yeah, that would be great. Fight at least 3 times, and let's get the ball rolling. I don't want to sit on the shelf for a year. That's. I mean, I had a lot of time to improve certain aspects of my game and get used to the workload at Sanford, which you may laugh at, but it's just when I first got there, definitely coming off the pandemic, it's just a different pace of training, and I'm a pretty good pace guy myself. But yeah, that would be what I'm looking for.
And you make time for interviews, Ronnie. I really appreciate it. Don't want you to get in trouble with the wife right now. Just remind people where they can get a hold of you on social media. And if you got any sponsors or shout outs, I'll give you the last word.
Yeah, I would like to shout out like Sanford MMA. I'd like to shout out Sunrise. I'd like to shout out Symmetry Fitness in Fort Lauderdale, my coach Ahmed. Obviously, First Round Management. Always got to thank them. If you're looking for me, it would be Ronnie the Heat on Instagram, Ronnie Lawrence on Facebook. And this sounds silly to say, but my manager at this point helps with my Twitter, so I don't know the exact hashtag name, but
just type in Ronnie the Heat or Ronnie Lawrence. I'm sure they'll find it on there, right?
Easy to find me on Twitter, so